Okay, Dax.
Caroline.
I am like super excited to have you here.
Thank you.
I thought you were wearing a mask because like you're scared of germs, but like people like know your face. Like you're like on that level.
I think I'm pretty recognizable.
When did you know that?
I knew I was pretty recognizable when I started going to the gym and seeing videos of myself at the gym after. Like people were recording me.
Do you like that?
No, I don't think there's any benefit from being recognized.
Tell me why. I'm feeling you on this, especially in this day and age.
Because I can't name one. Like I don't know.
Like, do you get perks if people give you a lot of free stuff?
I think there's benefits if
access to restaurants and VIP experiences. Do you even care about that?
No, I don't really go out that much. But yeah, I don't think I just sort of like I've tried to make a list of like, okay, what positive comes from being recognized every single place you go, and I just couldn't think of any. Because
you can't just like go somewhere, like go have dinner, go have coffee, go.
Well, you can.
Obviously,
I mean,
go to the gym.
I guess it depends on the place. You still can go places and do all those things, but I just think like in everyday life, it's like if I want to go to the movie theater, depending on where I'm at. Like it also depends on where I'm going. Like if I'm in Canada in my hometown, it's like I don't care. But if I'm like in a place I don't know and it's super busy, and I'm not with like my team or a bunch of people, it's just me. Like I just throw a hoodie on maybe.
So you're like anywhere you go. It's not like regional. It's like kind of like across the board.
Am I recognized anywhere I go? I'd say for the most part, if I'm just like walking around with like my hair out, I think it's the hair that's probably the biggest giveaway. You got great hair. Thank you.
I love that.
Freeform dreads. I've had them for about 8-9 years now. I wash my hair two times a year, 3 times. Maybe.
Oh heck yeah, that's awesome. Do you have to like style it?
No, that's what's dangerous about washing it a lot is that if you wash it too many times, it starts to take new forms. So I don't touch it. I don't style it. 2 times a year I get it washed. Maybe 3 times. Nice. Some people are pushing for me to get it washed more due to smell. But
I think you smell great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just showered.
That's kind of awesome. Is it easy? You just kind of like hop out?
It's super easy. I literally don't have to do anything with my hair. And probably that's the reason why. But I do have to get like a lineup, obviously. Mm-hmm. I wish someone could create an invention where it's like haircuts last longer for black men.
Well, I mean, you got it going on, Dax.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, so when was the shift? Because you've been making music a long time.
8 years. When I was 22, I wrote my first poem and probably started making songs 23, so I'm 31 now.
Okay.
So 8-9 years I've been making music.
Okay, so The Abyss, that one hits me hard. That song. And your whole, it's not your first album, but like the album before this last one you put it out, What Is Life? I'm like, dang, Dax. Holy cow. First off, is it like spirit coming over when you write this? Or like, because the flow that you're saying, and like when you are talking about in the Abyss, you're talking about how you almost didn't survive the day you were born. Did that put pressure on you to like your life? Did that put like a pressure, underlying pressure from the start? Or?
Not necessarily. My mom was in a car crash.
She was driving herself to the hospital?
Yeah, she was driving. Recently I found out my dad told her not to. Don't go. She went.
So,
I'm sorry. And she got into a crash.
She got into a crash. How did that happen? Because she was just like going into labor? I think
it was I was born in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay.
So it's super like snowy, icy, like crazy winters, just like where I ended up growing up in Ottawa as well. So I think she just slipped on the road while driving and crashed. I think it was a pole. She's
probably in quite a hurry too, because she's in labor.
She was. I don't know if it was I don't think it was the actual day of my birth, but it was leading up to it. So yeah, there was no pressure on me. I just sort of felt like this is the story, so put it in a bar.
And then also in The Abyss, you talk about like voices and you're hearing things and like I'm feeling like this is like your self story that you're talking about. It feels very real.
Yeah.
Is it very real?
Yeah. For me, everything I speak about is either what I'm going through, what I've gone through, what I'm trying to manifest, or what I'm trying to avoid.
You're like a prophet. You're so like intentional though. Like everything you speak, there's such a message with it. And I'm like, when I'm hearing it, I'm like, whoa, I'm like feeling it all the way to my core. It's not just a song. It's like
I definitely try to speak at least my truth. I'm not a fan of saying things like my truth, but I try to speak whatever the truth is that I've went through. And I think you were talking about, I'm not a big fan of the word prophet. I don't know if there are going to be any more according to the Bible. I've had this conversation a couple of times with her.
So faith is a big deal to you, obviously.
Faith is a huge deal. I came out the womb and landed in the church.
Okay.
Because of my mom.
Okay.
My mom's like she's a prayer. She prays like all day.
Your mom prays. So your mom's like a very connected soul.
Very. She's like if there's a skill, like I like thinking about like skills, like like in life we can get skills, and then you can work to acquire a skill. So if praying was a skill, like I've never seen anyone do something that much to the point where it's like I have to physically put her in bed because she wants to stay on her knees and pray all night.
Where
So
did
she'll
that
fall
come
asleep
from?
like this. I think that came from her upbringing. She's just always been like that. That's what she fell into, was God, and she just goes hard at it. So that's why I was in the church my whole life. So that's where I think a lot of that comes from for me in terms of like my moral compass and stuff.
But I feel like you have like a struggle with it because like you have such a faith, but there also feels like there's this other side that you are fighting. And,
So
like,
you're
some
probably
demons.
referencing to like Dear God, I think.
Yeah.
So when I explain people Dear God, it wasn't that I've always believed in God. But what that song was if there were questions anybody wanted to ask, here are these questions lined out. And I think that as, you know, human beings going through earth, it's like we get to a certain age where we like, okay, this was my upbringing, but why was it like this? I believe there's a God, but I have to now make a decision as a grown-up as to where I want to continue believing or not. So for me, those were all the questions I had as someone who had been in church his whole life.
Did it take you a while to find your own relationship with God?
Did it take me a while to find my own relationship
Because I
with
feel
God?
like I had a lot of questions about God until I actually felt God for myself. And it sounds like sorry, I'm referencing the Abyss so much. That song just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy cow. This is so powerful because there's so many questions and there's so much struggle in that song. There's like you're questioning faith. I feel like you're questioning like your whole upbringing and like, your life really. But did you find your own faith? Is that what changed for you that relieved the struggle? And where did the struggle come from for you?
The struggle for me, you know, I date it back to the Bible probably. I think, you know, if you go back to the garden once the fruit was eaten, God cursed Adam and Eve differently. And he said that for man, like, it's just going to be a continuous struggle your whole life.
You talk a ton about manhood too.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a man.
I know, but you talk about the struggle of manhood and like finding your worth outside of.
Yeah, and that's the curse that we're born with. And I think, and then God cursed Eve differently. For them, it was going to be, for you guys, it was going to be pain with childbirth and all that stuff. So I think that's why, like, sometimes I try to ask myself, okay, how can I become okay with this struggle? Okay, well, it's by knowing that this is what God said it was going to be. So embracing the struggle. So for me, what happened was from the age of 0 to 11, I was just living life. I had no idea what was going on.
Did you have how was your childhood? Was it hard?
I can't really recall.
What?
I mean, we were things like welfare, not a lot of money. Mom was working a bunch of jobs. My dad was actually a structural engineer from Nigeria who came over here on the Commonwealth Scholarship. That's how they came to St. John's, Newfoundland. But I would say it was a solid childhood.
Like it wasn't like you weren't like plagued with trauma or like traumatic events?
No, I wouldn't say I went through traumatic events as a child. No.
Okay.
I would just say that I was growing up, and then when I was 11 years old, I went from existing to then understanding that, like, okay, I actually can make choices that can shape my life, and I found the law of attraction when I was 11 years old.
Oh.
You ever heard of that?
Have I ever heard of it?
It's a
Yes.
great thing. So I found the
changed
secret.
my whole life. The secret.
Yeah.
I changed my whole life too.
Right. So I found that at 11.
How'd you find the secret?
I think I was on the computer.
Okay.
And at that point, the secret had said, think about anything and it manifests positive or negative. And then it said to test it out. So I tested it out.
How'd you test it out?
I started looking for the BMW 3 Series, and I was like, I started to imagine it. And it said, if you think about it, it will start to show up. And literally, it started to show up everywhere.
Really?
So as an 11-year-old, I thought I had found a legitimate superpower. So I started telling everybody, yo, there's a superpower that you can literally like manifest and do things you want in life if you think about them enough.
And people were like, what are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking? I'm 11. You know what I mean? Like,
you were wise beyond your years.
Yeah, it was a funny time. I remember because I went to, at that point, I was still at St. Clair, I think, in Orleans, Canada. But anyways.
But you didn't have much recollection of your childhood until then.
No, I mean, it was normal, I think.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, I think I just remember we were in an apartment, Brittany Drive, apartment 201 in downtown Ottawa.
Are your parents, did they stay together?
Yeah, they're still together.
Awesome.
My dad was going back and forth between America and Canada for his job. I think he started that when I was 6. So I was doing that. And then I committed my life to basketball at the age of 11.
And you said that was to escape the voices in your head. What voices were coming in? And I'm just quoting your songs.
I've always talked to myself.
Okay.
So it's like if I'm by myself, I'm usually talking to myself. And I don't know, I consider it a healthy thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's like say if I'm angry or anything's going on, I will have like an actual out loud conversation and interview myself as to like what I'm feeling about.
I don't think that's weird.
Right. I think
I think
personally,
that's totally
it feels
normal.
healthy to me.
Yeah.
But when I was
Like,
younger,
who am I talking to?
people thought I was weird doing that.
Because you're just talking out loud.
Right.
Because you're just working it out. You were just, honestly, you're just so emotionally advanced for such a young age. You're having such big thoughts. Most people aren't, 11-year-olds are not thinking like this.
Right. Right.
So you're just working it out. But it's like, who are we talking to? You know, who do you think we're talking to when we're having these conversations? 'Cause I do it all the time.
Wow. Yeah, it really, I would recommend anybody. It's like if when I feel anger, what I'll do is like I'll literally like pretend I'm on an interview and be asking myself that question. How do you do da? And then I'll answer it.
So how do you know who's the right voice to listen to? How do you get your answer?
How do I know who's the right voice to listen to?
How many voices are in there for you? Because I'm just like talking.
I'm not going to say it's like a schizophrenic type
No.
thing. I'm not going to take it there.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that. Because
this is a healthy coping mechanism.
Yeah.
How many voices are in there? I want to say it's just mine and the interviewer.
Yeah. Is the interviewer God?
No, I think the interviewer's. I've never thought about who the interviewer is. That's a really good question. But if I had to guess, I think the interviewer's me.
And then the answer is God?
No, I think the answer is me.
Okay, does God play a part of any of this? How do you get to the right answer, though? How do you know it's the truth?
If the outcomes are positive.
Okay.
So it's like when I was asking myself about alcohol, I was like, okay, well, right now this makes sense because I need it to perform.
You thought you needed it to, or you did need it to
At
perform?
the time, in the beginning, I needed it.
Because you were nervous?
I was nervous, yes.
That's a very common thing for artists.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. You're putting yourself on stage.
Right, it's very nerve-wracking. It's like this wasn't what I had planned for my life. I'm on this stage.
What was your plan for your life?
To play basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did that switch?
That switched when I was 22 years old. So once I found the law of attraction at 11 and committed my life to basketball, I essentially just like dedicated my mind, body, and soul to it.
So you just went hard.
I just went all out. I was trying to mimic Kobe Bryant's work ethic. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, my favorite player of all time besides Michael Jordan. So I was trying to mimic his work ethic, which was just insane to everyone around me, but I was doing it.
But you just have an insane work ethic. I can just tell from you, you're just a person who is so unbelievably driven, focused, and you have an intensity to you that is a superpower, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to contain it right now. I'm trying to contain
Do you need to
my
let it
intensity.
out? Is that why? But that's why you make all this incredible art. Like when I was watching your social media, I'm like, this is not just a video. These are like experiences. And the way you throw yourself into these characters and create these stories, that is so next level.
Thank you.
But all that's just spilling out of you.
Right. Yeah.
So is that intensity, has it been like a blessing and a curse for you? Have you had to figure out how to channel it? And that's why you needed outlet like basketball?
Definitely it's been a blessing and a curse. I think of anger as alchemy. I'm actually thinking of, don't tell anybody this, I'm telling you right now. I'm thinking of calling my next album Anger Management.
Oh.
So I've always thought of anger as alchemy. So I would say it's been more of a blessing because I've found a way to use anger to propel me forward.
What would make you angry?
A bunch of things make me angry. Sometimes I go looking for things to make me angry.
Tell me why.
Maybe I got that from Kobe and MJ, because they would do that to motivate them for a game. So it probably translated from basketball to this. It's like when I tried out for the provincial team 7th grade and kids were laughing at me. That made me angry.
Why were they laughing at you?
You know what I mean? It is what it is. It was sort of like at that time in Canada, it was like social media had there was no social media, but I was trying to figure out a way because I wanted to get to prep school in America.
You wanted to get to America?
Yeah, I wanted to get to America. So I had made a couple just videos of and I had self-proclaimed myself before I was one of the best basketball players in Canada.
Speak it.
So when I got to the tryout, some people were laughing at me. And I didn't make it my 7th grade year.
They're like, oh.
But then the next year, I ended up making the provincial team and then becoming one of the All-Stars and then winning the national championship. So I used that quote-unquote laughter, anger to propel me forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounds to me like you're always pushing yourself to the largest stage. So there is a lot of room for people to have opinions because you're putting yourself out there in a big way.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's why I have this series called Self-Proclaimed, and I've just always believed that speaking life into existence. So I got it tatted on my neck.
Speaking life into existence?
Yep, speak life into existence. As long as it's positive, right? I'm going to rob a bank. I'm going to rob a bank. And you start saying it 100 times, nah. You got to try to keep it positive. But yeah, speaking life into existence.
What are some of the biggest things that you've manifested? Well, obviously, your basketball.
The craziest thing I ever manifested was actually a negative. It ended up being negative that turned into a positive. When I So I left Canada. My mom told me crazy, right? So I was in Canada. I became one of the best basketball players in Canada. Won all these things.
What
And
age? What leagues were you in when you were doing this?
so high school basketball in Canada.
Okay, so
And
you
then
were
just like that, we have like a whole like the way they have AAU out here. We have a Canadian version.
you were in
of
the
that.
schooling system. It
Yeah,
was
schooling
like not
system.
professional yet. It was still
Yeah,
like
not
basically-
professional
okay.
yet. So I was supposed to end up going to play at Carleton University, which like won 10 national championships, literally, and it was in my city of Ottawa. But I wanted to go to America.
Why did you want to come to America? Because bigger.
Yeah,
options?
you know, it's like you were born in America, right? So when you're not born in America and you see America, and I agree that that's how America is. Like, it's the land of opportunity. Everything's like bigger out there. It's like, okay, well, like basketball is bigger out there. Just the sheer mass of population. We have 30 million people in Canada. There's 300 million out here. So, you know, we all wanted to go to Syracuse to go shopping because there's no tax and things are, you know what I mean? So it's like just growing up, I wanted to be at the biggest stage and face the best competition. So I wanted to come to America.
Okay.
So I was trying to do that, but the coach was essentially trying to sabotage me to get me to play at Carleton University. So I was in this Carleton University like program leading up to my 12th grade year. But then eventually we came to AAU and got benched during 2 games when college coaches from America came to watch me. So it all like ended up messing up in my 12th grade year.
Did he bench you intentionally?
Yeah.
Really?
It was a crazy time. But then my mom ended up telling me like, don't worry, Danny, you can meet a man who could change your life at a bus stop. So my 12th grade year, I meet a man at a bus stop named Ray Evans who had brought in a prep school to Ottawa from the Bahamas. And then after we played his team in a preseason tournament, someone filmed the video on an iPad and he sent that to Kyle Lindstedt at Sunrise Christian Academy in Wichita, Kansas. And then we got on the phone at the YMCA and I ended up playing prep school in America. So that's how I came into America, by meeting a man at a bus stop. So that was my mom right there.
And was this? You said it was ultimately not a good experience, or was
that was me leading up to the story of
okay? How you got here?
So then I end up getting to prep school. I do 1 year, didn't get a Division I scholarship. Went to junior college for 1 year, then finally got a Division I scholarship, and I get to the University of Montana. So this is like right before on my dream list when I was 11. It was like prep school, Division I, then NBA. That was the goal.
And you like knew this was going to happen in your heart when you wrote this at 11.
I would definitely say there was conviction that I personally thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And at that time, I guess it was. It was
happening.
It was going a little bit like this, but
Which
I was
it
getting
always
there.
does.
Right.
Yeah.
So I finally get to Division I. I'm at that time I was a sophomore because I did 1 year at JUCO, and I'm like, okay, cool. I got 3 years here, and then I'm going to go to the NBA. And I was trying to mimic it after Damian Lillard, who had played in the same conference at Weber State. We were in the Big Sky. So then I'm there, and then I hurt my back. I tear a muscle in my lower back. Boom. We also had a coaching change, and we had a Coach Tinkle ended up going to coach his son at Oregon State, and Travis DeCure came in. I've since now went back to Montana and have closed that circle of my life because it was a long time for me. It was a thing that was really hard to deal with.
Okay, I'm dying to know how you close the circle, but let's not divert. I want to hear that afterwards.
So,
gosh, you're fascinating, Dax. Everyone tells you that, right?
Quite a few people.
You're a very fascinating person.
Thank you. So I go and tear a muscle in my back, but I've always had like communication problems. I would say like a word people have used for me throughout my life is like, oh, he's an aloof. He's in his own world. Because I was just like doing what I'm doing. I'm in my own world. So I would say like, I wasn't the best at communicating. I wasn't the type to like go to the coach's office and become I was just like, I'm working super hard. You see it. Let's go. So I tear my back, but because they didn't recruit me, there was a miscommunication. I was like, I'm hurt. I can't move. I can't bend over. I can't run.
That's terrifying. Were you scared?
I was scared, but I've had this problem in my life where my facial expression doesn't show what I'm feeling.
Okay.
That was like a problem I used to have. I'd be looking at coaches. I'd be like, I got you. But whatever in my brain I do, like I'm agreeing. But my facial expression won't show that. So I had to sort of like learn to like, okay, boom. If someone's like, okay, boom, head nod, got you.
Were you scared that this would end your career?
I didn't know at the time. I wasn't super aware that this is how I was. I was just like, I'm doing what you're saying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was only like I had like a couple fallouts with coaches in the past that we ended up becoming best friends, but it was after like we had broken that communication barrier that was there. So anyways, they're telling me like, keep playing. I'm like, I literally can't. And I wasn't trying to explain like my back's, the muscle's black. You see it. I can't move. So anyways, I end up getting pretty much benched the whole season. But to answer your question, the craziest thing I ever manifested was I spent that whole year thinking of trying to manifest that when it's the biggest moment, they're going to call my name. And I didn't play the whole year. But I just kept, every day I was working on my game when I finally was no longer injured. I was like, they're going to need me in the biggest moment. They're going to call my name. They're going to call my number in the biggest moment. I would just repeat that on end. It was in my room. It was on the wall.
So, like, because you would be healed by them, but you're still on the bench. You're like,
right. So I ended up being healed by the start of the season because it was in the preseason I got hurt. But by then I wasn't getting played at all. It was literally like embarrassing. It was crazy. I would like last 30 seconds of the game. Yo, Daniel, you want to play? I'd be like, sure. Like that type of treatment. You know what I mean? But a lot of dudes have went through it in basketball. I'm not the first. I'm not the last.
Was there a reason they would not put you in? Because they just had been working with other people, and
we were a really good team as well. I was a sophomore. Like we ended up being number one in the conference.
So there are tons of great players.
Right. So in my thing, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna keep working hard, and then next year I'll come back. It'll be fine. Like let me just keep going hard.
Okay.
But they're gonna need me at the biggest moment.
Yeah.
So we get to the conference tournament. We were the number one team in the conference. The conference tournament was at our home. We win the first game, win the second game, win the third. We're in the fourth game to go to the NCAA March Madness. If we win this, we go to March Madness. My dream is manifesting. I'm at a mid-major. I'm a sophomore.
You're like, no,
I'm
this
not
is
playing
it.
This year, but I'll play next year. Junior, senior, it's all going to be, this is perfect. So we're playing against Eastern Washington. They had an NBA prospect. His name was Tyler or something. He was averaging like 30 that year. I forget his name. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, this is the last game of the year. About to go to NCAA March Madness. I didn't play all year, but screw it. Here I am.
Yeah.
But this was the first game. Like, this game I'm actually not going to cheer. Because I was just like, because I was also angry at the same time. And I was super vocal, but I had an incident with the coach where he was just like, what are you, a cheerleader? And then I was like, you know what?
Fine.
I won't talk.
Yeah.
So this game, I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything. And I hadn't played all year. This is the biggest game of the year to go NCAA March Madness. So at halftime, we were winning. Coach looks down the bench, and he says, Daniel. Everyone's like, why is he calling this kid in the game? He tells me to go guard the NBA prospect. At that time, no one had a scouting report on me because I didn't play. Mm-hmm. But when I came in, they're like, he's an athlete. Because my calf muscles. Right.
Got good calf muscles?
got calves. Jump
calf
high,
muscles.
right? Solid calves. athlete. So I guard the NBA prospect guy, and he turns the ball over. And coach's like, good job. And I was happy. I'm like, wow, I contributed. And we're about to go to the NCAA tournament. We're up like 18. This is great. This is going to lead to good next year. I'm going to March Madness. Maybe they'll put me in at March Madness, and I'll go off like Steph Curry. So second half comes around. I'm in a solid mood. All of a sudden, NBA prospect dude starts going off. Our 18-point lead dwindles to 8.
He's doing great.
He's going crazy. We were up 18. All of a sudden, he's going crazy. He kicks it into gear. And my NCAA March Madness dream is starting to disappear.
Okay.
I'm thinking of like my 11-year-old list in the background, just like, no.
All this is going through your head.
All this is going through my head. 32 seconds left. Our lead is dwindled to 4. I might be wrong with the details, but it's online somewhere in terms of like those pages that do that stuff. So I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, man, down by 4. I think they were up by 4 this time. I think they had come back and they were up by 4 with 32 seconds left.
Oh man!
So we were winning,
good. And you're still in.
No, I only played those last couple seconds of the half because I would get like garbage minutes. There's 3 seconds left in the half. Hey, you want to play?
Okay,
but
so
I was just happy because I'm out.
Now you're back out. You got the turnover, but now you're back out.
Right. So but I contributed, so I'm back out.
Okay.
So now 32 seconds left. They're up by 4. Coach looks down at the bench and he calls my name.
That's kind of a big deal because it's not just throwing you a bone. It's like a crucial moment.
And everyone was literally shocked. I'm talking about everyone in the stands was like, why is he calling this kid's name when he's refused to play him all
And this is
year?
the most pivotal moment.
And this is what I had been manifesting the whole year. But in the time, I didn't realize God had given it to me right there.
Oh my gosh.
So he calls my name. I go in. I go up to Jordan Gregory, who was our senior leading scorer at the time, besides I think Martin. I literally tap on his shoulder. He turns around, and he's shocked that I'm on the court. Literal shock. And I'm like, hey, man, coach wants me to guard the NBA prospect guy. You got up. I'm communicating. Everyone's shocked. Down by 4, 32 seconds. They have the ball out of bounds. I'm standing here. I fake. They throw it in. We get a turnover. I steal the ball.
I'm nervous. I feel like I'm here. I'm like having nerves.
I steal the ball.
Okay.
I pass it. Now I'm here open for a shot. Mind you, I was a 3-point shooter.
So you're a wing?
this is like the moment. I'm supposed to catch this ball, shoot it,
Oh no.
and become a hero.
This is what you've been waiting for.
This is the moment. He passes me the ball,
Oh gosh.
and I don't shoot.
What did you do?
I passed it.
No.
And then he throws it over. We end up losing the game.
No.
Yep.
So, what did that moment do to you?
My next 2 years, I ended up, so the next year they
Was
didn't
your
want me
coach
to come
mad
back.
at you for not shooting?
They weren't mad at me. It was sort of just like, well, this guy hasn't played all year.
Were you mad at yourself?
Oh yeah, I actually ended up. So I ended up. Next year. Sorry, at the end of that year, I go in the coach's office. He pulls back a board and he says, "Here are the projected minutes for everyone coming back this year." Underneath my name, there was 3 minutes. I was just like, "Are you projecting me to play 3 minutes next year?" So then eventually, pretty much decided I should leave. So I leave. But for the next 2 years, I end up averaging. I led the conference in scoring at the D2 I was at my senior year, but I scored 80% of my points from the spot that I didn't take the shot from.
So you just like drilled it into your brain like that will
Yeah,
never
I was
happen
so
again.
traumatized that I spent all my time working on moves from that spot for the next 2 years.
What was your internal dialogue like at that point? Were you like beating yourself up, or were you like, I'm going to use this to grow? Because you knew the secret at this point.
It hurt. I kept replaying the moment.
Like
So
you just wouldn't let it go.
yeah, I didn't let it go for a while until I visited Montana like last year, and that's when I finally let it go.
How did you let it go? This is when you close the loop.
Yeah. So what happened was when they told me that I had to transfer, I did a bunch of things on campus because I was just like, I've always been in this manifest mindset. So I literally at
Always.
that point,
Like you don't ever turn it off, do you?
no, I don't ever turn it off.
Every single thing you do is a potential is like a moment to manifest. Is a moment to like.
Yeah, it's like intentional,
You're
sort of
intentional.
like thinking about it. So at that time, I went in the locker room and I wrote on the board. I think I wrote something. It was like, although you didn't get to feel me physically, I will be the biggest part of this school's history. That's what I wrote at that time. And I took that, I wrote it on the board. I wrote it on the coach clip so they would see it when they came in. And then I went to the Hall of Fame line that we had at our school, and I started slipping like my name and signature into different Hall of Fame spots at that time. That's what I did, which was pretty, looking back, that's pretty cool.
How did that relieve you of this like torturous loop that you were in?
It didn't, because at the time I didn't know if I was going to be the biggest part of the school's history. I was just, but that's what I felt. I was like, I don't know if it's going to be basketball. Now I could say it's music. You know what I mean?
But Dax, your like drive to impact is it's on such a different level than most human beings. You know that, right? Like, you're not just going to casually do something. Like some people would just have this experience. They are good at basketball. They work hard. Things don't really work out. They might be haunted by something, but they're just going to like move on with it. Not you. You're not just moving on with something. Like your
Right.
desire to impact to your fullest ability that you're capable of, you're on a whole nother level. They're like, you're in the level with the greats. Like you
Thank
really
you.
are. It's like even talking to you, I can just tell everything about you is so intentional and intense. Like you are not just casually drifting through life.
Yeah, definitely not. I think that's what happened when I was 11 years. I think once someone becomes aware that you have, like, God granted you free will,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have the ability to make choices consistently that can then improve your life. Like once you're given that information, I just happened to be given it at 11 years old. Some people get that information later in life, and then they change. It's like when people wake up one day like, I don't care what people think anymore. Some people just get that information later. So I was lucky enough to get it when I was very impressionable at the age of 11 years old. So that's like something I want to then give to my kids. It's like we as children, we learn so many things. Like we learn a whole language. Like imagine the things you can impress upon a child at that age, like if you're just intentional about it. So I think I'm an intentional person, but I think I was blessed enough to also find those skills at such a young age when it was like, I found a superpower. And I literally thought, and I still think to this day, but like at that time when you're 11, and you're just like, I started thinking of BMW 3 Series. Now it's everywhere. Like it really hits, So.
Do you ever just want to like dick off and not hold this?
Dick off. Explain. Explain.
Do you ever just sort of be like, I don't want to manifest and be intentional right now, and I just want to like sit and do nothing and sit at a beach and get a little fat and eat some nachos and like not hold myself to this intense standard? I'm impressed with it, but I'm like, how do you hold yourself to the standard? It's so inspiring. Do you ever just want to like drop it?
It's just lifestyle. It's like, I tell people all the time, it's like if if everything you did felt like brushing your teeth in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't think about it, we just brush our teeth. It's like once when something becomes that much of your lifestyle, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So because I've been doing this so long, I don't ever feel like, oh.
So it's not stressful. You're not stressed.
No, I don't feel stressed.
What's your day like? When how do you wake up? Because
I wake up.
According to your songs, weekends you kind of chill a little bit, but on the weeks it feels like there's a
What
regimen.
song is that?
I can't remember. I was listening to all your songs.
That
I'm
might have
like,
been a
dang.
lie.
I'm like, I need to life lessons from Dax. I'm just gonna write a memo from your songs to how to live life.
I think what I do is what I do is I wake up as early as possible.
Okay.
I think the goal for me is anywhere between 6 and 7 to wake up.
Okay.
I think after looking at a bunch of successful people, like that seems to be. I mean, some do 4 or 5, but I just can't do that.
No.
I can't sustain it at least.
Right.
So 6 to 7, and then what the first thing I do is I go on a drive. I get coffee. That started late. I started drinking coffee I think when I was 25.
And not iced.
No more.
No more.
Heart murmurs. Don't do it.
Heart murmurs.
Yeah. Apparently there's something about the coldness of the ice plus the caffeine mixed
just
together.
A shock to the heart.
Yeah, because I started drinking coffee when I was 25. It was the first time I tried coffee.
Did you like it right away? Acquired
I
taste?
didn't like it. I didn't like it right away, but my mom had told me Danny, I think coffee's good. Coffee's good. I think you can drink coffee. Drink black coffee. I was like, Mom, black is well. I'm gonna start with iced coffee.
Did you know about the heart murmur at this point, or you found out?
No,
about
it was I started drinking McDonald's iced coffee, and every time I would drink it, I would just feel like these little palpitations.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is that? And at this time, I had never drank an energy drink before, but I started at 25 because I think that was when the pandemic hit, when I was 25.
Okay.
And I was periodically sipping Bang energy drinks. And then I'm starting to feel this heart thing when I drink the iced coffee, and then drinking the Bang energy drinks, just periodical sippage, nothing crazy. I went to the doctor, and he's like, hey, man, if you keep doing this by the time you're 40, kaput. In terms of it's going to be very bad for you.
Kaput.
Not like dead, but just especially as a black man, I think we're higher risk for things like heart disease,
Okay.
heart attacks, and different things like that. So he could see on
Your trajectory.
Yeah, the trajectory with the way the energy drinks things were raising my heart rates and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, this is not good.
Right.
But he said coffee is fine.
Okay.
My mom had said that as well. So then I started drinking hot coffee. So
Okay.
I get coffee in the morning.
Put cream in there or anything?
2 raw sugars, a little bit of half and half cream.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
it simple.
Yeah,
I like it.
Super simple every day.
I like that. Okay, so that's how you start your day. Wake up.
Yeah, and I go on a
6,
drive.
7. Go drive. I'm sorry.
That's where Lonely Dirt Road came from.
Okay.
This drive it used to be mental health walks to the liquor store when I was in Wichita, Kansas at Newman University.
Mental health walks to the liquor store.
That's how they
Explain
started.
that. How is it? That's a little ironic.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it?
I at the time, I would just take these walks, and I'd find myself at the liquor store in Wichita, Kansas.
So you're working through your mental health in your mind, but going to
The liquor store. Sometimes I'd walk to the mall as well.
Alcohol is a huge song for you.
Your alcohol, yeah.
Your alcohol. So was that? But you were kind of numbing at that point too, right?
I wouldn't say I was necessarily numbing at that point. I was playing college basketball, so to me, alcohol was the only thing I would do on the weekends if I'd go out or party.
And originally, was it you had a good time with it? It was a good relationship.
Yeah, I thought when I first drank alcohol when I was 17, I was convinced it was also a superpower. At the time, it was for me. Someone who was socially awkward. The first time I drank, I was 17, sitting in my basement.
This personality is coming out, probably.
Yeah, I was 17, sitting in my basement. I was going to my first ever party when I was 17.
Okay.
Because I'd finally achieved half of what I needed to do to get out of Canada for basketball, and I was like, okay, I'm finally going to enjoy a party. Let me go. Everyone's been doing this since we were 13. Let me try now because I'm sort of set up to do what I need to do. So I sat in my basement alone and I drank a Heineken, and I noticed my eyes started to I was like, well, I'm blinking. But then I went to the party and I was the most social I'd ever been. And I was like, wow, I'm not nervous at all. So at the time it was a superpower for me.
Yeah.
So
did it become a crutch for you at all, or
when I woke up that I think it was 3 or 4 months prior to me writing Dear Alcohol, and I had asked myself the question, when was the last time you didn't drink 2 days in a row? And I had no answer to the question. So I was like, all right.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, because with basketball, it was just on the weekend. But then once I became a music artist, and I was like...
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And all the events...
Morning, noon, night, all day, every day. It's like you said, it's helping you performance-wise.
Yeah, perform, tour. I'm drinking before every show, every event I go to, everything.
Shot.
Yeah. The only thing I never drank doing was recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I remember I recorded this song called Cracking on my own, but in that same session, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, I remember I drank and then I was in the studio. I thought what I had made was good. When I woke up the next morning and heard it, I was like, wow, that's terrible. So I don't drink when I record.
Okay. What is your relationship with alcohol now?
I don't drink anymore.
Me
It's
either.
been like a year and a month.
I'm 4 years in October.
There you go. Wow. Legendary.
My husband is also an artist, and he was in the same kind of loop where it's just like it's everywhere all the time. And when I would drink, I would get like mean and cry and yell at someone. And before I was married, I'd try to make out with everyone.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's
there comes a point, it's just not really serving me
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Nothing good. It's kind of like you're saying with fame. Like nothing good really ever came from alcohol with me. Like maybe I'd have a moment where I'd have like a cool burst of a personality,
Right.
but it would immediately be followed by something not great.
Exactly.
And then a terrible hangover. And then I was just
Right. And you just take inventory and you're like, wow, there's not many positives. So then it's like you just go about trying to eliminate it in the best way possible.
Was that hard for you to eliminate it?
It was because it was so intertwined with my career, and I was trying to ask myself, how am I
Truth.
going to get on stage
Ooh.
and not
Drink.
drink?
How did you
before?
do that? That's so hard because you had probably always drank before you went on stage.
Oh, for sure. I drank before every show. What happened was I wrote down and took inventory of all the situations that I drink in. First I removed all alcohol from my vicinity. No alcohol in my apartment,
Okay.
no nothing.
You just took it away.
So I took it away. It just made it harder. And I was like, I'm never having it. I was like, oh, well, dude, if it's like, if you can't, could you? I'm like, well, I just don't want it here. So just get rid of it. So no alcohol around me. Then I wrote down every single situation that I drink in. So it was like, damn, when I go to the movie theaters, I have that little tequila shot thing or whatever it is. If I go to a dinner, I drink. If I go to this and that and that and that and that. So what I did is I just attacked each one. Okay, I'm going to go to the movie theaters, and this time I'm not having that one drink that they have.
Isn't it crazy all the mental warfare we have to do in our brains?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Literally. Like, it's just like, this is a battle with yourself.
Right.
You know?
So I approached it as a skill, and I just tried to get better at the skill of not drinking in each situation that I drink in. And the last one that I had was
Save the best for last.
The tour. And so I purposely didn't like do shows for a little while because I was like, okay, this is going to be a big thing, me not drinking to perform. And then the first time ended up being, it was at the CCMAs, and it was just like, it was a writer's round room thing where we were just performing acoustically, and I was just like, damn, okay, I'm gonna do this. So like,
You're gonna do
so
it.
what I
Okay,
started was,
okay.
I started by wearing glasses to perform, so I didn't have to see people.
Okay, put your
so I was just
armor
there,
up.
Yeah. I go, you know what I mean? And then I did the one time, and I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And then there was this riverfront performance in front of like a couple thousand people that I did it as well with the glasses.
Was it like a full show, or was it writers'
Just
round
two
stuff?
songs. These were
So you're
just
starting off
yeah.
tiptoeing
And my
in.
tour was not for a while, so I just needed to like tiptoe into it.
Yeah.
So then once I started, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So then I did my whole tour without it, and now it's like I don't have a reason to drink. But what's scary to me is that like I'm the type of person where I may never drink again. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like asking myself, is that? I mean, it's cool, but it's just
Sometimes it's like boring. Honestly, I'm not someone who ever even misses alcohol. I probably would not have quit unless my husband wanted to. But now I'm like, oh God. I mean, everything about it was just like misery for me when I think about it. But you had positives. Like you had some positives.
Yeah, I'd never done anything stupid while drinking. I mean, maybe if you ask people around me, they may say different. But yeah, I wasn't like a fall over crazy drunk or anything. I definitely drank quite a bit, but yeah, I guess like it felt positive. Maybe looking back, if I were like to really lock into things, maybe there were some negative situations, but yeah, nothing ever
Now,
ended
does
up
it
in
freak
jail.
you out though? Because now you've conquered this, but you're like, okay, well, what if I want to like have a glass of wine sometime or something, or have a beer? And you're like, well,
Well,
can I
didn't drink beer. For me, it was always double shot of tequila. Yeah. Well, that was once after when I went on my first ever tour was with Tech Nine, and I remember I used to drink like vodka before that. I used to drink the cheapest stuff, like bottle cleaner,
You
especially
have
in
a
Wichita. Kansas.
terrible hangover.
Yeah. But when I got on that tour, they're like, man, you got to drink agave. It's natural, no hangovers. And I started drinking tequila. I would get no hangovers, and it almost like gave me energy. I guess it's an upper.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So.
Okay, so tell me about your name situation, because your name's Daniel,
My name is Daniel.
but we don't go by Daniel. Dax.
Go by Dax, yeah.
Only Dax. And you're a
So-
one-word name guy, which I love.
Yeah.
You know?
I was really happy the day. I'm gonna say God sent me that, but essentially, so Dax is DAX. If you put the X in a bracket, the common You substitute X for N, so Dax is still Dan.
Wait, what?
So D-A-X, put the X in brackets like in math. You know
Okay.
how we usually use like X as like the substitute? When, like,
You're
doing
way
math?
smarter than me. I am terrible at math, but I'm going to take your word for it.
So it's like, I'm like X, the X equals 2, so then you put 2, whatever, and you're like multiplying shit.
Are you great at math?
You know what's crazy? I'm good at simple math. I actually dropped out of math in high
complex.
school once they tried to like start adding letters and algebra. I was like, this is too
Geometry, all that stuff. Oh,
yeah,
no.
so I'm probably not that great at it.
So
but
Dax is kind of short for Daniel.
yeah, Dax is Dan.
Dax is Dan.
So I can still, because my biggest thing was, if this is what people are going to be calling me for the rest of my life, it needs to still be me.
Did you change it for like a sort of protection, or why did you not just go by Daniel?
I started off not wanting to do music, and it was Daniel Nwasu Jr., the spoken word poet.
So you started off in spoken word.
Yeah,
You're like a genre blender.
I did not want to make music when I first started.
Then why did you make it?
I'm gonna say God.
Okay.
Essentially, what happened was, so I was doing spoken word poetry, and at that time, I just wanted to be like, I'm just gonna do this poetry thing. I'm gonna move to Seattle because the poetry scene is crazy. And then I started to go to different open mics in Wichita, Kansas, and also my coach was taking me to do motivational speaking, so I was going to speak to kids at schools.
And what would your topics be about?
Just speaking. I started motivational speaking because my dad was working in Pennsylvania, Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and I was playing college basketball, and so we're Nigerian. In Lebanon, Pennsylvania, a kid was graduating and there was a party. This was before I even started spoken word, but this is why I initially like gravitated towards it when I did start writing. And we went to this graduation party for this kid, and they found out that I had played Division I basketball, and they wanted me to get up there and start and give a speech because he's graduating high school and that success. So I went up there and started talking, and by the end I was done talking, everyone was crying. And my dad was like, what was that? I was like, I don't know. I just said what came to my brain.
Just flowed.
Yeah, so that's why originally I was like, oh, motivational speaking works for me. So I would make motivational poems and all that type of stuff. But eventually people started telling me that Tupac had also started with poetry. So I think subconsciously I was thinking of Tupac so much that I eventually went on a mental health walk and deviated from the liquor store and went to the mall that had this like $2 movie theater, and I watched the Tupac movie at the time. So all of a sudden this whole Tupac thing is circulating. I'm like, wow, Tupac started with poetry too. Then I have a dream. I don't like dreams anymore.
Like in your sleep?
Yeah, I had a dream in my sleep.
Was it a nightmare?
No, it wasn't a nightmare. But Tupac came to me in a dream, and he said, if you want to make an impact with your poetry, you have to turn it into music because it has replay value, essentially.
He came to you in a dream?
Yeah. I've had 2 dreams like that. I had a dream where Michael Jordan taught me how to score in a dream.
Did it work?
It did. He said, this is what he said.
What did he say? This is awesome.
It was pretty crazy, right? So he said, and it was also a life lesson. So I ended up using this to lead a conference in scoring in college. Thank you.
What a life.
So he goes, when you're open, shoot. If you miss, shoot again. And when they cut you off, change directions. That's it. And that's how I averaged all those points.
And was it like vivid? Was it like really?
Yeah, it was like Michael Jordan right there.
So you had Tupac and Michael Jordan come to you in a dream and give you advice about life?
And then
the 2 most important areas in your life?
Yeah. But I think it was like, I think it was like, I like to say it was because I was thinking so much about Tupac at the time. So my subconscious brain was doing that work and just like, okay, now you dream about that. You know, it's like dreams are essentially what you see, go through, and think about all the time.
Why don't you like to dream anymore?
Because people started telling me dreams they had about me, and I was just like, well, I can't see what you look like. So
like, what would they say? What would the dreams be like? Some
positive, some negative, but it's just like
it weirded you out?
It weirded me out, and I had to. Then I went and did a whole bunch of research on dreams and figured out that like this is all just they are what you make them, you know. But essentially, it's like because I was sitting there in my thing, and I'm like, okay, people are DMing me. Some people tell me this dream and that dream, and it's like you can allow that to take you in the wrong direction. But then I was like, well, you know what's crazy? Like you can dream about me, but I can't dream about you because I don't know what you look like. So then I started researching up dreams, or that you even exist.
Yeah.
So I started researching up dreams. I'm like, oh, this is like the subconscious. So people would say something like, you know what, my friend, you need to actually look at what's going on in your life because in fact you're having that dream. You probably saw me today online, and then you're going through this. That's not about me. That's about you.
Oh, it's your subconscious, and you're just in there subconscious.
Right. And some people try to project that negativity onto you. So I had to go figure out what dreams are, what are actual dreams.
It's just someone who's thinking a lot about you. You're impacting them in a strong way.
Right.
Oh,
so I released myself from the stronghold of like letting dreams dictate anything.
Okay, so once you figured that out, you're like, I will no longer.
I'm done with dreams.
But I'm still going to hang on to the Tupac and Michael Jordan one.
For storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And also, they gave you great advice that actually worked that you didn't seem to know before.
I did not know at the time.
So, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of like.
For sure.
You know. Okay, so you didn't want to be an artist.
Right.
So how did that happen? You started doing spoken word, you started speaking public speaking, motivational speaking. Yeah. Did people start filming you and just putting you online and it started going viral? Or how did you
I went to go speak at Cape and Mount Carmel in Wichita, Kansas with Coach Potter. He was my basketball coach. He now goes all around America and speaks about mental health at schools. He was the first person where I was just like, I'd listen to his speeches before games and I'd literally be like, how did he put those words together? To the point where I went and asked him. You know, so we still talk to this day. I just talked to him the other day.
He just divinely inspired.
Just a legend. He's just great with words. He sent me this Bible recently. It's the Coach's Bible, Faith Bible, something. But yeah, he's just great with words. And so he was the one who originally was taking me to these schools. But I went to go speak at Cape and Mount Carmel, and I was speaking like motivational speaking. You know, here I am. I'm like at a D2. These kids are like, dude, you're playing D2 with. What are you talking about? So I just remember looking at the kids. I was giving this great speech, but I just remember looking at the kids. They were looking at me and they were going like, they weren't saying it, but the look on their face was like, I hear what you're saying. It sounds good, but like you haven't done anything in life. And that's when I was like, you know what? I need to actually like go achieve something and then circle back to motivational
so you really
speaking
have some
later.
Weight with your words.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I stopped motivational speaking at the time publicly.
Did you have imposter syndrome or did you just like have a moment where you're like, oh, I just need a little bit more like clout?
It was just like I couldn't get them to understand these tattoos. Like I got these tattoos at the University of Montana. It was like, you know, chase greatness, elude mediocrity. Greatness is not an outcome, it's a choice. Like, most people won't understand that. It's like people think Michael Jordan is successful because 6 for 6 championships. That's not why. It's the choices he made every day. So I'm trying to tell these kids,
discipline.
You're going to be great. And I'm going to be great because of the choices I'm making now that are going to show up in 10 years.
But you needed the payoff.
But they need to be able to see like, oh, okay, well, he's a 6-time championship. So these words have weight.
Got it.
Because this line isn't enough for most people.
But you knew what you're saying was truth, but you just didn't have like the final outcome for people to fully
grasp
hear it
it
and grasp it. Okay. So you're like, okay.
I stopped motivational speaking, dialed into the poetry until that dream, and then I started turning those spoken word poems into songs. So that's why a lot of my earlier songs have no hooks and it's just like straight.
Which
like,
I love.
Dear God is just a whole verse.
And that one kind of was was that one of your first big ones?
Yeah, like my own songs. That was super big. Yeah, one of the big ones. It was there was
Okay, so it was just kind of spoken word in the beginning.
Yeah.
To music, and just you cut your. Was it like? Is that a stream of consciousness, or are you like crafting it out?
So I hear a beat. A couple of my songs started as poems. So when I first originally started writing poetry, I wrote a poem on the way to a game to play University of Arkansas Fort Smith. And once I looked at the poem, I was like, wow, I really think this is good. Showed my teammate. I went about trying to write poems every day. So I have a bunch of poems in my phone that came from the beginning, whereas like Dear Alcohol was originally a poem. Dear God was originally a piece of a poem.
How ironic that I'm sure this is very intentional, but Dear Alcohol, Dear God, like it's both kind of gods in their own way, you know?
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
And both dear speaking to them.
Right.
But
I have a Dear Mom song, a couple Dear.
So you write to like important influences in your life. Like your writing is like just like a.
That's the goal. I think what happened was when I was 25, I said it on stage a couple of times. I was like, when I was 25, my frontal lobe like developed and I felt it.
Really?
And once I wrote Dear God, I wanted to write stuff like that all the time. Because up until then, I had like every now and then I would write something really good. But like Dear God was the first time I was like, this song topic is like, will live forever. I had poems like that, but I never put those poems out. They're still in like my phone and written in different places. But so essentially once I wrote Dear God at 25, I was like, okay, I think this is like what I'm supposed to do with life, like this type of stuff. And then I remember I had a conversation with God, not audibly. He used something to talk to me. And essentially he said, quiet the noise of the world so you can hear my voice. And if I did so, then these songs would keep coming.
Okay, so how did you quiet the world?
At that time, I'd stopped partying. I stopped going out. The last thing I was really trying to get to was no drinking, so I can really just like be in tune and
Okay.
hear when he's speaking. So yeah, just literally, I just became a lot more disciplined. Like I was already disciplined, but like, I stopped going out. I stopped doing things that, I thought were not the right path and would not lead me to a right direction.
And discipline is such a virtue.
Yeah, discipline. I essentially, that's what the song "Temptation" is about. I stopped
is
giving
out
into
now.
any type of temptation. Out now, right?
When temptation hits you, how does it come in first? Like when you feel temptation, how does it hit you first? How do you want to react when you feel it?
How do I want to react when I feel temptation? I look at it as a war. It seems like it's a.
Are you aware right away when temptation is hitting?
Well, I've come to the conclusion that temptation is everywhere.
Right.
And it's not going anywhere. So it's not a thing of like temptation's here right now. It's like me just walking throughout the world knowing that it's everywhere, especially in this line of work. So I wouldn't say like I feel it and then I make a decision. It's just like everything I'm doing, everywhere I'm going, I'm just aware that like this is the perfect setup for the devil to try and creep in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to be aware constantly.
And how do you know for sure that there's no payoff to temptation? Because so many people in power give in to temptation all the time.
That's a great question. How do I know there's no payoff to temptation? I'd probably say via the Bible. I'm not like I want to start reading the Bible. I'm not a Bible historian any type of way. I need to read it.
But you feel it in your heart. You feel God in your heart.
Yeah, I think there's.
But so many people don't want to disregard temptation. So many people want to give in to temptation and use powerful positions to actually get situations that are tempting and take advantage of them. So you're actively fighting this.
Yeah, I'm actually fighting. I was watching a great show the other day. You ever heard of Handmaid's Tale?
Oh yeah.
We started watching that wild show.
Does this mean we're in love? Who's we?
I have a girlfriend.
Because you have a love story too. Your latest album, it's going hard on love.
Right. For sure. You definitely got to. Love is definitely a
Is this
real
a
thing.
new relationship from the songs and
It's not a new
and
relationship.
from a man's perspective though? Because there's a couple in a man's perspective. I'm like that relationship feels.
Yeah, I wouldn't. So I think when I'm writing songs, like I said, what I've gone through, what I'm going through, what I'm trying to manifest and what I'm trying to avoid. But through the course of writing these songs, because I write all my songs myself, not everything is 100% applicable to me.
Okay.
It's like there may be a line that gets in. It's like, okay, well, this makes sense that I know people are also going to relate to.
Okay.
So it's like I may write 10 more love songs, and they may not all be applicable. Like they're not going to be what I'm going right through in the moment.
Okay, because
That makes
from a
sense.
man's perspective, some of those feel like not love songs. It's like so much love, but like
Yeah, I wouldn't say I don't say I write happy love songs. I wouldn't say, but I look at life and I say 99% of relationships don't work out.
yeah, that's true.
That's just like the math.
Why do we think that is?
I mean, most people just don't end up with the first person they
Yeah.
first talk to.
True.
That's just life,
Yeah, you got to grow and learn.
Yeah, you grow and learn. So it's like I think I try to write like reality based songs, based off the reality I've seen.
Okay, so you're watching Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, and the person said it's either you have the freedom to or the freedom from. I was like, man, that's powerful.
The freedom to or the freedom
From.
from. Okay, break that down for me.
So it's like you asked, why do you think people, or why do you think we give into temptation, or what's the benefit? And I look at it as like, some people see that temptation. I have the freedom to drink. I have the freedom to do that, right? But once you get on the other side and you realize there's no benefit, like actually I'm free from alcohol. So I think a lot of it is just like a mindset,
I love that.
That's how I see it as. And I
Freedom from.
yeah,
Freedom to do it or freedom from it.
freedom from it. And I'd like to think that the average person
That's
wants to
deep.
do good
Yeah.
and wants to not be in chains.
Mm,
The problem is I don't know if we're not always aware we're in chains.
right. A
You
lot of
know?
people aren't doing this introspective work like you are. You're constantly doing inventory on yourself.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's why I try to put it in songs. So it's like, that's why I think knowledge is super powerful. So when I said I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself tonight,
Yeah.
understanding that, for me, that was a big line when I first wrote that. I was like, damn, that is why I drank yesterday. I didn't want to deal with something.
Yeah.
So I think once you know there's a better chance you can escape.
Mm.
But it's like not everyone knows.
They're just in their own prison.
Right. So my goal is to let people know, but also let myself know. So I think like when I'm 25 and God says, quiet the noise of the world so you can hear my voice, it's like these words are also letting me know as well. You know, so it's been like really interesting, like writing these man songs, the alcohol songs, all these other songs I have coming where it's like, man, this is like letting me know things. And just knowing why you drink is like 90% of the battle.
Like, what are you drinking from?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing it?
Why are you doing
this
it?
is why I do it. Okay, well.
Maybe I should take a look at that.
Right.
Yeah. Just actually examining.
Right.
Taking the time to examine.
Right.
So manhood, common theme with you.
Yeah.
Tell me what, because so many of your songs are like, it feels like you don't have worth if you don't provide or if you can't like show up as just a man, not feel your feelings. I mean, I'm probably doing a terrible job of summarizing this, but like, I just feel like there's so much pressure. You feel so much pressure as a man. And your album is from a man's perspective. You have a song out with Darius Rucker. And that was, you redid that one, right?
Yeah, it was a remix.
Yeah. And
my original one, yeah.
So tell me about this theme of manhood and like, what has that been for you? Has it been a struggle? Have you felt like it's been, what has the journey of coming into your manhood been for you? Has it just been, it feels like it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think that started from me waking up and realizing I was a man.
When did what age was that?
When did I realize I was a man? I think I realized manhood was a real thing for me probably like 28. When I was like, okay, this is like manhood is like, this is a journey. But at first, I don't know if matriculated is a word. For some reason, it just came to my head. At first, matriculated. When I was 12, I was going into high school in Canada. Like like nothing in America, you guys have like middle school, but our middle school at St. Pete's, like 7 and 8, was in the high school with the 9s to 12s.
Okay.
But I remember being in 7th grade, and I was walking in the high school. I'm like, okay, here we are in high school. And I walked up the hallway. I remember like the first month, and I just realized I was literally invisible. Like I am invisible. And I was like, wow.
Nobody cares.
No one, like literally no one cares. No one knows who I am. No one cares. I came from this little school. Like I played all these sports there, but they don't know that here. So I'm starting over, and I'm literally invisible. And I was like, okay. So I ended up attaching my worth at the time to basketball, and I used that to gain a name, notoriety, and essentially create value for myself. Now, I think growing up, sometimes people will be like, well, that's a bad thing. But as growing older, I'm like, no, this is actually beautiful because I don't want anything I didn't earn. Right? And then recently, as 31, at this age now, I actually come to realize that we can't even escape this. This is the curse that was given to us in the garden. God said you will struggle for the rest of your life. And I think that's why struggle, providing, and all these things are attached to manhood. You can't escape it. You can like try to
avoid it.
You can try to avoid it and try to say people shouldn't value you for what you can provide, and that you should just be able to walk into a room and they love you for who you are. But it's never going to be that because the Bible said so. That's not the life for a man.
The life for a man.
Life for a man is you have to be useful. But knowing that is freedom.
Again, like you said.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Whereas some people may, that feels like bond. It's only bondage if you don't want to accept it. But if you understand it, then you go about the process. When I was like 6 years ago, I used to always tweet, in the process of becoming irreplaceable, in the process of becoming irreplaceable. This was always a thought of mine. So it's like, if you just embrace that as a man, that struggle that God talks about that you're cursed with actually becomes a blessing.
And don't be fearful of it and don't try to run from it. Embrace how you can actually become it.
Figure out ways you can become valuable, and it'll then give you purpose. And
then you don't have to be scared.
Right. So that's my whole manhood shtick on like that, like realizing that manhood, like this perpetual struggle where I am going to be valued based upon what I can provide other than to my mother is just acceptance.
So don't be mad about that.
Don't be mad about it.
Were you mad about it for a while?
I think as a young man, it definitely brings about anger. You know, you're like, man, like, geez, no one sees me. I keep getting rejected. I'm not, like, damn. Okay, all right, cool. Well, let me play basketball. Let me become the best at basketball. Okay, now they see me. Okay, well, now there's more basketball players. Geez, I'm not the best. Da-da-da-da. So it's like once it is an anger thing that I think most men go through. But I think attaching it to the Bible and be like, okay, this is why it's the way it is. Now I can become valuable in my own ways and facets and things like that. Yeah, but definitely.
And that's wisdom right there.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like it's just life. It's literally. I blame it on the Bible. Blame it on God. That's the way it is. You as a man, you have to be useful to people around you.
You are just like a endless wealth of knowledge and stories and life and wisdom. So have you enjoyed the success of music? Has that been something that, I'll wrap up with this. Now that you are such a notable figure in the music industry space and just entertainment, have you enjoyed it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. My favorite, I keep it super simple. My favorite thing is like not checking the gas price. Mm-hmm. That's like, I enjoy that. I enjoy there was a time when as a kid I couldn't get what I want when I was going to the grocery store. So there was a point where I had like 100 different cereal boxes. I had to get rid of them all. But like I like going to the grocery store and like not necessarily worrying about what I'm buying when I'm getting groceries. So I think I enjoy that part of it. What I'm able to do for my loved ones and stuff like that.
Have visuals always been important to you? Has it always been important? Because you're such a visual artist. Has that always been important to you, or has that evolved?
Yeah, my goal is to make a music video for everything. I try to like I think of these songs as like each one is like my child. And I always say it's like people do what they can. So it's like I wrote this, all of it, and I pay for it. So I want a music video for it. Now, if I didn't write it and it wasn't mine, maybe I don't need a music video.
But you're such an actor too. I mean, the way you express.
I think I really do respect the skill of acting. I wouldn't call what I do acting because it's like, it's a music video.
But I mean, it's intense portrayal.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I really do have a respect for actors because I'm just like, man, I don't know how they just like.
Do you love that feeling though when you're in that character in the song, like creating this art? Do you like being immersed in it?
Being Joker's cool.
That's cool.
Being Joker's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I can say things I wouldn't normally say.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of acting. I can't see myself ever wanting to be an actor unless I was playing myself.
Yeah. Okay, so Temptation's out now.
Temptation is out now.
Are you going on a tour?
I'm supposed to be going on tour in the fall. What's fall? Fall's like September-ish?
Yeah. Okay.
Fall, September.
What can we just follow along with you? Where can we find you? Tell us all the things we need to be looking out for our docs.
On all social media. Social media is a jungle now.
Tell me about it.
It's crazy.
Do you like social media? I mean, it's done you well.
Yeah, social media is cool. I didn't get a phone. I didn't get an iPhone until senior year of college. So it's like I've never used social media any other way than I use it now. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's chill. Mm-hmm. But I could definitely see how social media is probably the cause of a lot of turmoil in the world right now. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's
been a good outlet.
It's my job. So.
Yeah. Okay, so just keep up with you on TikTok, Instagram, just Dax?
Just Dax, D-A-X. That's the goal. I think what did I used to say? I said, if you can't search Dax and find me, then I'm not doing my job.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for joining me, Dax. You're such a fascinating person. I always wrap up with one question, which is leave your light and just drop some inspiration. What do you want people to know?
What's the biggest thing I've been saying recently? I think the most important thing is just writing down goals. I think life is a car, and if you don't create a sense of direction, you'll feel lost, and feeling lost is depression.
Love that so much. Thank you so much for joining me. You're amazing. This was awesome. Dax, loved it.